Hello, I'm Ben Mankiewicz. Welcome to 2026 on TCM. Thanks for spending New Year's Day with us. Tonight, we are kicking off a Thursday night spotlight featuring TCM's Star of the Month for January, Jean Arthur. In the 1930s and early 40s, Jean Arthur reigned as the top star at Columbia Pictures, one of the most popular leading ladies in Hollywood. She may not have looked like a conventionally glamorous movie star, but she brought a unique combination of strength, sensitivity, and intelligence, as well as wit and charm, to every single performance. More often than not, a Jean Arthur character finds herself at the heart of every Jean Arthur picture. That is certainly true in the first three films we have lined up tonight, all three of which teamed Arthur with one of her favorite directors, Frank Capra. First, from Columbia Pictures in 1936, Mr. Deeds Goes to Town. Title character is Longfellow Deeds, that's Gary Cooper. He's a naive rural New Englander whose quiet life is turned upside down when he inherits $20 million from his dead uncle, becoming national news overnight. Director Frank Capra developed the project with his frequent screenwriter Robert Riskin. Together, they created another character in the story, a cynical newspaper reporter who sets out to mock Longfellow Deeds, but then finds herself falling for him and defending his idealistic notions. Initially, Frank Capra wanted Carole Lombard for that part, but she turned it down just before the film went into production. Instead, Babe, that's the character, went to Jean Arthur, fresh off starring in another hit comedy written by Robert Riskin, The Whole Town's Talking. Turned out to be the start of a beautiful friendship. Arthur went on to star in two more Capra pictures in the late 1930s, You Can't Take It With You and Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. We'll have both of those films here on TCM later tonight. But we'll begin with the first Capra-Riskin-Arthur collaboration from Columbia Pictures in 1936, again, also with Gary Cooper. Mr. Deeds Goes to Town. Mr. Deeds Goes to Town came 2 years after director Frank Capra's wildly successful 1934 comedy It Happened One Night, which won all 5 of the big Academy Awards, Best Picture, Screenplay, Actor, Actress, and a Best Director Oscar for Capra. He won a second directing Oscar for Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, which was also nominated for Best Picture, Screenplay, Sound, and for Gary Cooper as Best Actor. Jean Arthur's performance was not nominated. She received only 1 Oscar nomination in her career for the George Stevens picture The More the Merrier from 1943, further proof that the Academy Awards are not an infallible measure of an actor's talent. By Frank Capra's estimation, Jean Arthur was, quote, one of the best damn actresses I ever worked with. The respect was mutual. Arthur called Capra a great director, and he does it seemingly without any effort. They went on to make 2 more movies together, You Can't Take It With You from 1938, and the film we have coming up. Jean Arthur stars opposite Jimmy Stewart in the 1939 classic Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. It is next on TCM.
Next on TCM, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Then You Can't Take It With You. And later, the ex-Mrs. Bradford. Reconcile with Jean Arthur tonight.